for the fellow disabled travelers out there. I totally irritated my dislocated hip driving up to northern Michigan for a writers' conference last weekend. But because I know I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which causes joint dislocations and hypermobility, I knew enough in the last few years since diagnosis to know how to treat it. And I also knew enough to guess that the reason I'd irritated it is because what was wrong with the joint was slightly misdiagnosed. I know it's kind of borderline scary or pathetic, depending on how you look at it, that I know that much about joint injuries. I'm not a doctor, but people complain all the time about having torn labrums, which is the front of the hip joint. It kind of sticks out below your pelvic bone. Well, it's not supposed to stick out, honey, but mine is. So scratch that last part. If it sticks out, get checked out. That's a good motto for Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. So anyway, I looked up what would the symptoms be if this were, misdiagnosed as something else, and it turns out that driving, sitting for long periods with it kind of pinched, lying on that side, or even standing around are really irritating to a torn labrum or a dislocated hip in that anterior location. I don't mean to get so in the weeds about a specific injury, but if you have EDS, I think you're following me. So, because I will completely fall apart if I don't get back to swimming like every few days minimum, I rested for a day. When I got back, I drove home mostly on cruise control as much as I was able, which helped. And I lay down a lot at the conference. So unfortunately, I don't have as much video of all the goings on as I would like to, but got to prioritize the safety of my hip. And I am already back to it. So I'm going swimming right now. We went to Lake Michigan this weekend, but it was too cold for swimming. So it's been about 5-6 days, which is too long after another week that was disrupted with travel. So I got a little catching up to do, but I'm already doing so much better. And even just getting back in the pool, it wasn't, here's the EDS tip really. It wasn't the joint that was injured as much as it was being pulled on by the muscles that were trying to hold it together, right? And that were cramping and getting exhausted and giving out. What I discovered since getting the EDS diagnosis is that if you just rest enough that the muscles can recover, but then gently get right back into the activity that kept you healthy, whatever it is, the muscles will reactivate and the joint will snap back in place. And it's super creepy, but honestly, not your imagination. It really isn't. That's what happened. So I'm just super pleased that I was able to travel a bit, go halvesies on an activity that I didn't want to give up on, and that I still am able to come home and not regret the activity, because I just get hurt all the time, no matter what I'm doing. It's very, very difficult, and long term it's causing a lot of joint problems. So I'm hoping that helps somebody, particularly if you're trying to travel with an injury or have to switch up your movement patterns from changing your schedule up suddenly. That's the kind of stuff, that'll really throw you off and you didn't really do anything. So that's my fix.